Hello viewers, how are you? Hope you are fine. Welcome back to my channel Drawing Time with a Story. If you are new in my channel, I will introduce myself and my channel with you. I am Suraya Parveen, and in my channel I select an object or a theme to draw, and while drawing you will not get bored because I will narrate a story or deliver some information or simply we gossip related to the topic. So at the same time you will listen to a story and you will obviously enjoy a beautiful drawing or acrylic painting. So as you saw, my today's topic is, or you can say my today's theme is, a night view of galaxy with lots of stars and a beautiful galaxy view. And while drawing I will narrate a story related to the space, that is the Sock Drawer Anomaly. And the story was written by Geoff Blackwell, and I found the story in the Storyberries. So if you are a story lover, you can just search Storyberries, and you can find lots of fun stories from them. So now the story time. The Sock Drawer Anomaly. Dick's room has gotten so messy, it's broken the universe. Declan Maxwell Jones. Dick, look up in alarm. I am coming to inspect that room of yours right now. His mother's voice continued from downstairs. And if it is not completely spotless, then I am going to sell a non essential bit of you for medical experiments. I will interrupt in the middle of the story because I am recalling my memories in from my childhood, because I think in this case every moms are similar. If the room is just messed up, they threat us, but they do a great thing for us all the time. So I am really proud to all the moms of the world. You are really lovely. You are a really precious gift of our life. So now let's continue to the story. Dick swallowed, dropped his book, and looked around in despair. What he saw was not good. In fact, it was so far from good that even bad might be generous. A room in a house that had been in an earthquake and then a landslide, and which had then been looted and then stamped through by a herd of rabid white beasts, might be messier a bit, but it would be close. Where had the time gone? His mother had given him an hour to tidy his room, and he would intended to spend the time cleaning. He really had. It was just that the first thing he would picked up had been his old battery copy of the restaurant at the end of the universe, which he was rereading for about the zillionth time. And that little part of his brain which for some reason he hadn't learned to ignore yet had whispered seductively to him, "Go on, a couple of pages will not hurt. You have got plenty of time." And he would have plenty of time, only that had been about 59 and a half minutes ago. And now he didn't. He now had something like 10 seconds. 10 seconds into which he had to cram an hour's worth of cleaning. He leaped off his bed and began shoveling piles of dirty laundry under it. And if I find anything stuffed under your bed, I will make it an essential bit, called his mother, displaying one of those astonishing but seriously annoying flashes of mind reading she seemed to be capable of at the most inappropriate times. Dick started refining clothes back out again, wondered briefly why he seemed to have more than he would started with, and then resembled with a sinking feeling that last week's laundry was still under there as well. His shoulders slumped in defeat, with his under the bed fallback of limits, and about 5 seconds later, things were looking pretty grim. So his mother knocked. Okay, Dad, open up. Let's see what that floor of yours looks like. It has been so long, I have forgotten. Coming, Mom, he replied, getting dejectedly to his feet. He took a step towards the door, but as his mother had not been kidding about his floor going missing, he inadvertently stepped onto his skateboard, or at least onto his biology textbook, which was sitting on top of his skateboard, which had also gone MIA just shortly after the floor had. The skateboard went sailing across the room and cannoned into Dick's waste paper basket, a basket into which he had, via a combination of determination, spatial orientation, brute force, and extreme laziness, managed to cram approximately 6 times its intended capacity of rubbish. In certain clear proof that Newton's third law of thermodynamics can sometimes be delayed but never broken. A fountain of paper, chocolate wrappers, and other bits of junk that out of the basket with an equal but opposite force to that which Dick had crammed them in with. Dick, meanwhile, went flying back in the opposite direction of the skateboard. He crashed into his desk, sending books, magazines, and other assorted things just flying. He bounced off the desk, struggling to regain his balance as a pair of jeans, two shirts, and a dog leash wrapped around his legs and clutched desperately at his bookcase. So, mistake. A big mistake. The bookcase was big and solid and looked immovable, but was so overstuffed with books that it was dangerously top heavy. It swayed ominously and then slowly, ponderously, began to fall. Desperately, Dick tried to lunge out of the way, but the knee high tide of junk lapping around his legs tripped him. He tumbled to the floor and could only look up in horror as the bookcase's massive bulk accelerated towards him. He closed his eyes and braced for the impact. For a second, nothing happened. Then, for another second, nothing kept on happening. Several more nothing filled seconds crept by. The small part of Dick's brain which was not consumed with terror began to wonder what was going on. He wondered if he should open his eyes. On the one hand, nothing was happening while they were closed, and compared to the something that had been about to happen, nothing seemed like a good option. On the other hand, vision was quite a useful attribute, and he was probably going to have to open his again another time. You alright, kid? Who would say that? Slowly, cautiously, he opened one eye. No pain, no being squeezed. He opened the other. Still no squishing. For some reason, his bookshelf seemed to have stopped just short of turning him into a dead pancake and was now hanging suspended just above him. Weird. And some strange voice was asking if he was alright. It is most weird. A face appeared in the gap between the bookcase and the floor to his left. The face of a young man with blonde hair. He held out his hand. Need some help? For want of any better options, Dick took the proffered hand and extricated himself from under the almost horizontal bookcase. He started to say something, but the stranger was concentrating on some sort of device strapped to his wrist and held up his other hand to stop him. He was tall and slim and dressed in dark grey overalls with the letters DCP. Said Dick. The situation was so surreal he was not quite sure how to approach it. Who was this guy and what was he doing in his room? Apart from somehow saving him from deadly falling bookcases? Look, sorry to interrupt, but who are. Without warning, the stranger leaped at him and sent him crashing to the floor. The top drawer of desk beside table flew open and something small and pale came bursting out. So it streaked across the room right through the spot where they had been standing moments before, smacked into the wall, bounced off, and came hurtling back aching. The blond stranger leaped to his feet, pulled something that looked like a half-sized baseball bat out of a holster hanging from his belt, and smashed the flying object back across the room and into the cupboard, which as usual Dick had left open. The stranger lunged over to the door, slammed it shut, and then wedged Dick's chair against it. The door began to rattle and shake, but the chair held firm. The stranger turned to Dick, who was sitting speechless amongst the junk on the floor. Sorry about that, kid. Now, what were you saying? He put his bat back in his holster and sat down on a pile of dirty laundry. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were asking who I am. Link's the name, Link Dawson. I am an equilibrium from the Department of Continuum Preservation, said Dick. I am Dick. Deciding that sounded a bit lame, he added, and a kid. Sadly, once he should said it, he realized that sounded even lamer. What is an equilibrium? You don't know? Okay, I must have come back a long way. He consulted the device on his wrist again. Okay, right. 21st century, that explains it. Dick. An equilibrium is someone whose job is to maintain the integrity of the space-time continuum. Dick processed that. The space-time continuum? He said, yes. You maintain it? Yes. Its integrity? Yes. Dick processed some more. Maybe I should let my mother in. The integrity of the space-time continuum sounds a bit like a grown-up's things to me. So what is going to happen among three people? Mom, Dick, and the stranger. If you want to know, stay tuned with me. Stay tuned with Drawing Time with the Story. And obviously don't forget to subscribe my channel to get notified whenever I release a video for you. Stay safe. Bye.